And you can be my
Gavel for Chris.
you can be my hand. So we'd like to start this meeting for the Learning Center District Board, and we do have a quorum, and we'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome all of you, and you know I'm thinking that we'll be welcoming a lot more as we get this thing happening in January, and hopefully there'll be more and more participation always of students to get in more information, because this is a great move for us. Adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Any discussion? Changes? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, we're going into public comments. None? Why? Where's the public? Okay, we have approval of consent agenda, and that's
Or the minutes.
for the minutes from August. Wow. Okay. And motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the minutes of the May 20th, 2014 meeting of the HEC.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion as to the minutes? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All those opposed? Okay, motion passes then. Action items removed from, nothing, correct? None. Okay, information items. We're going to move into information items. Higher Education Center program update. Carmen? Oh, both of you. Okay, good.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, thank you for having us. You should have a document that looks like this, Higher Education Update. I think, as you all know, we have 4 institutional partners right now. We are working on a 5th one, which is Eastern New Mexico, so we're excited about that. And these are the sample program offerings, and the one that I highlighted is because it's the newest one, the AAS Nursing to the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And they had something like 95, 99 applicants, and they've accepted 45 into the BSN, AAS to BSN, yeah. And we are really working on getting some new programs, because I feel like if we don't have some more programs and more institutions partnering with us, it's just not going to be as successful as I'd like to see it. So we have a visit coming on December 5th with the Hotel, Restaurant, and Tourism Management, and we have we're going to be inviting the mayor and Randy Randall from the chamber.
Tourism Santa Fe.
Oh, Tourism Santa Fe, okay. So, and they're all behind this, so they're really going to promote it, and I think that will help. They tried to do a program in Albuquerque with CNM, and they got 2 students. So they're somewhat reluctant, and they tell us that they have to have 20 or 25 students, and I think that we can do that.
Would that be an associate degree?
No, it'd be a bachelor's degree.
Well,
They'd get their associates here, and they'd get their associates either in culinary arts, or they could do general business, because actually the HRTM program through NMSU is mostly management. They only have 2 culinary arts classes in that program.
We don't really have a hotel.
We have a,
Mr. Chair,
We do.
Member Siegel, we do have a hospitality management program. It's kind of been languishing for a few years, and so Dean Camila Bustamante is working to tweak the curriculum to match what would feed into the New Mexico State program. But if we do bring the program here, then students would get an associate degree here in some track. It could be culinary arts, it could be
general
hospitality
business.
management, it could be general business, and then feed into the junior and senior level for the motel tourism track.
right. So we're excited about that, and that's actually happening. And we had an early childhood non-licensure meeting with NMSU folks on October 10th.
Non-licensed.
Non-licensure, and that is for all of the centers that are not part of a public school system. And the non-licensure is infant to 4, I think. So Head Start is now requiring everybody to have a bachelor's degree, so that's going to impact a lot of people. We did a survey, just sort of an informal survey here on campus, and there are 39 people that are interested, and NMSU has told us they won't bring the program here unless we have at least 20 students. And we haven't sent it out to the Head Start or any of the centers around to see if there's people that are interested. So I think we'll have a viable program there. 2 other programs that we're looking at bringing are community counseling and the film and animation program. And we're still in discussion with them. And in discussion with the emergency management, which is from Eastern. So, and we have a ribbon cutting on the 14th. And I think Janet's going to talk more about that.
What does emergency management entail?
I'm not really sure, and Camilla is the one that's been working on that one.
It's like FEMA type.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mr. Chair, so
Right.
we have an associate degree in emergency management? I don't,
We have environmental science degrees, and they're very closely linked. And so there is the potential of putting together something new that's building upon what we already have. Obviously, we do have the classes in OSHA, which are part of it. We do have environmental cleanup training programs, some of which are credit and some are non-credit, which would be part of it.
We're doing a cybersecurity program that could probably move into that one too as well.
So they're not related to EMT or any of the medical
No.
fields? Thank you.
And then I also included this there. This is our brochure for our partners, so I think you saw it last time. And the other thing that I'm working on right now is the fee structure, so that when this moves over to somebody else, that there's actually a fee structure that people agree on. But we're having a very difficult time because everybody wants to be negotiated individually, so I think we'll be doing some of that too. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Pablo?
so have we started negotiations with the individual partners?
Yes, we're in negotiation with them.
How's that going in terms of how far are we apart, or are we getting close?
Well, I was actually waiting for a finance person to come on so that they can help me. And I figure as long as we have these negotiations settled by early January, they'll be in time for people to plan their budgets for the following year.
But, Mr. Chair, just to point out, we do have agreements in place that go through June 30th of
Right.
this year. So
Oh, okay.
we're talking about negotiating
For
new
the
agreements for
15,
next
16.
fiscal year.
Okay.
Carmen? This is just a physical question about the building. Do we have the room, and will we have the busiest time is in the morning? Is there hassles about UNM wants the morning or
No, the
they want the evening or?
Actually, the busiest times are in the evening, from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And we do have one institution that took over the whole second floor, but we've got them down.
Wants to take over.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say. And what we've done is we've given them 5 rooms upstairs. There's 10 actually, but dedicated 5 rooms. And there is one night, Wednesday night, when there's a spillover and we need 2 more rooms, so we can do that. And I've asked all of the partners, because we're moving into a new building, we're moving into new space, we wanted to use a lot of the seminar rooms for ITV, and because a lot of ITV classes only have 3 or 4 people in them. So we're still trying to figure that out. Highlands tells us that their equipment is too big for those seminar rooms. So some of it is going to be, we're going to still be kind of flexible come when the semester starts. But they have their classrooms lined up, their classes are all set. And we're meeting tomorrow with all of the partners to just kind of finalize the scheduling. Ready?
Sure. Yep. Hello, I'm Henry Mignardo. Here to give an update on the HEC project status. We attend meetings at least monthly. I think we have meetings with the group So we're continuing to discuss the facility issues and a lot of the OIT issues. We're working with the partners to make sure that we meet their facility request needs. Some of these requests will have to be done once they move, because we'll actually be able to take a look at their equipment and see how best we can either install that equipment or get the provisions to install it. But for the most part, we're able to meet most of their demands. And in the event that we run out of space, Mr. Chairman, there's also 2 adjacent lots that we could always put a first right of refusal on, so something to consider down the road. Let's see, just to give you a brief update, the project is healthy, on schedule, on budget. We're continuing to meet the quality standards and codes. There are no safety issues. The budget is intact. We still have our McCarthy, our contractor's contingency budget, 100% intact. We have not found any hazardous materials on the site, except for some trash. For the most part, we have found no hazardous materials to report. We have the trailer has disappeared. There is no longer a trailer on the building, on the construction site now. We're actually inside the building, and we hold our meetings inside the building. The parking lot is completely finished. All the curb and guttering is completely finished. The interior courtyard site work still continues. We're installing some of the bollards and some of the seat walls. All the mechanical systems are undergoing their testing and startup. The heat is on in the building. It's in process of being balanced right now. The wood floors and the door hardware installation is underway. For the most part, most of the doors are installed. The tile and carpeting, the MCT tile for the floors has all been installed, and it's covered with paper. For the most part, all the carpeting is installed and covered with paper. The color dyed concrete work continues. Most of the concrete floors have been polished and are covered. 90% of the lighting on both floors is all installed. The paving and asphalt is 100% complete. Positive Energy, the solar installation is complete. We're just awaiting P&M's approval to continue with our testing and commissioning. We're going to try and integrate the solar. We are going to integrate the solar system with our mechanical systems, management system, so we'll be able to manage the photovoltaics along with our equipment in the building to hopefully optimize the best time and use for that equipment.
Well, Henry, will it be on the 14th, and will that be part of it, or are we gonna have to wait till we get the in between part like we did here? And
no, the goal is the contractor is about 2 days ahead of schedule. The goal from the contractor's perspective is literally to turn the building over to us with a certificate of occupancy on the 23rd of December. If we don't get the certificate of occupancy, we'll get a temporary. So for all intents and purposes, OIT from the community college will move in on the 23rd and thereafter and start their OIT installation. And then January 5th, we have and actually the 23rd, that and the 29th, those 2 dates are some of our furniture, fixture, and equipment vendors. They will be actually setting up their furniture, fixture, and equipment. January 5th, we take occupancy of the building. On the 8th, we get our final inspection and final ownership of the building. The 12th, we start classes with 2 of our partners, and the 4th, we have our grand opening. The 14th, we have our grand opening.
And then the 20th is when the Santa Fe Community College and IAIA start. Highlands and UNM start on the 12th.
Yeah.
NMSU.
oh yeah, and Carmen, are we still gonna have any classes here at all? HEC classes?
That would depend on the class. If you needed a lab or something like that, if we were going to do a culinary program over there, they'd have the culinary classes here, or a nursing. The ones that need the labs, the ones that don't need the lab will be over there. The ones that need labs will be here.
And is there any plans for a shuttle?
We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, just to expand on what Carmen was saying, also we're working with them to coordinate a move plan with our partners here at the college. So we're gonna work out a moving plan. We'll coordinate their equipment and pieces that need to be moved. We'll inventory those. We'll get those moved, and then we'll inventory them when we receive them at the HEC building. We're working right now with the public transit system of Santa Fe to try and get an express from the higher education center to community college back and forth at least twice a day. The word is in, our request is out. We're waiting to hear how they can help us with that. We haven't finalized shuttle. We've discussed shuttle service. The president's well aware of this. We need to discuss it with more detail and see how we could carry it out. Let's see. Our punch lists are under development. We'll actually be developing these punch lists through the remainder of this year, and of course, we'll be hitting those punch lists at the first of the year in January to close out the contract with our contractor. And I went over those dates. Basically, again, we take the building over the 23rd. Our fixture vendors are coming in the 23rd and 29th. On the 8th, we actually take ownership of the building. And on the 12th, our partners start their classes, and on the 19th and 20th, we start our classes. We will transition, working with the president, we're working on a space reallocation for the downstairs space where the HEC was located, and we'll be looking to find the most appropriate and the next required space usage for that's the most appropriate for the college's direction and strategic plan. Any questions?
Mr. Chair?
Linda?
So those are offices, those downstairs rooms? Pardon?
Yeah, there's a section of about 6 or 7 offices, and it's just that one section. Those are the only administrative offices in the building.
And so we probably don't need them for offices, or?
We need several of them for some of our partners and for the college director.
I thought they were moving
You're
over.
talking about here. She's
Okay,
talking
I'm
about
talking
here.
about
Oh, I'm
here.
sorry.
Here, the current.
Oh, no, that's predominantly classrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There are some offices with that.
thought
The
there were.
Highlands has.
the Highlands area. Yeah,
Offices and small spaces.
But those will all move over,
yes.
and then we can
Classrooms will become available.
for our,
When we reallocate that space.
thank you.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy, I didn't see you.
Question. Some questions about our neighbors at the University of Art and Design. I know at the beginning of the year they had expressed some concerns about the traffic flow in and out. Could you give us an update on how we're dealing with that issue and how we've worked with them on it? And secondly, I know they've also expressed some concern about us offering upper-level arts courses on the campus next to them when they're offering arts courses. And just want to know what we've done to be able to address those concerns with them.
I'll take the second part if you want to do the first part.
Okay, you bet. With regards to the traffic, we were granted a temporary easement by the city, and with the notion that perhaps we would get a permanent easement. We've been working with Santa Fe University Art and Design. We originally had designed the building with a south and a north entrance. We had done an early on traffic study that identified there could be some traffic issues associated with Siringo and Yucca, but not necessarily on Alumni Drive. When we had proposed our south and north entrance to the city, they suggested that perhaps we only use the north entrance as an emergency exit. We went through with our design. We created the design to allow for just an emergency exit. We installed the bollards per the city's request, and we asked the city if we designed this for an emergency exit, in the event that we did a traffic study for 30 days after we open, if there is not a traffic issue, can we use this perhaps as a regular exit and entrance? And they said they would look at that. And so we have just recently, as of about a week ago, received a permanent easement amendment. And that easement, we're in review. We're looking at that permanent easement amendment. It's in review. And we have a few comments we're going to send back to the city. But for the most part, it appears they're going to grant us that easement. They're going to require a couple things from us. One is that we conduct the traffic study. And the other is, based on the outcome of the traffic study, whether or not they allow us to use that exit as emergency or not only. And the other issue there is that they'll require a road maintenance agreement between us and our neighbors, and in this case it would be the University of Art and Design. So that's something we're also planning to work on, as a road maintenance agreement.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, Member Keith, just to let you know, it's a left turn arrow has already been painted on that exit, so we're encouraging people to only turn left. If they turn left, then it should not be a problem for Santa Fe University of Art and Design.
Which easement? Which direction?
This is
north?
the north exit.
North, the only turn.
So we're hoping most people will come in and out of the entrances directly on Alumni Drive just after you come in from Yucca and Siringo. That's the first one you see. If you go there, you don't have to go over. They have 2 speed bumps that you have to go over to use the other entrance.
Big ones.
And they are really horrendous speed bumps.
Yeah.
So most people are not going to go with those. We also had a meeting out there yesterday with the mayor and the city manager, and I've requested that they look into the city may be responsible for the road from Siringo to the stop sign. And I've asked if that is true, if they would consider repaving that, because it's in pretty bad shape right now, so they're looking at that. As to your other question, I had a very productive meeting with Larry Hines, who's the president of Santa Fe University of Art and Design. I've given them a proposed memorandum of agreement. We've addressed a lot of those issues. I've kind of committed, and Member Siegel and I met with him earlier in the year, that we would commit to not competing at that location with programs that they currently have. What I was not willing to give in on is we would never compete with any programs they have because we don't know what they're going to have. But for the most part, we don't have any labs over there, so no, we're not going to compete directly with them. One of their biggest concerns is a photography program from UNM. Well, we don't have anything planned, and even if we did, the photography lab is on campus here. So they're fine with us delivering programs here. There is the possibility that they actually could contract with us also to deliver some general education courses for them, which could be an opportunity for them to buy down the cost for their students. So I felt like we had a productive meeting a few weeks ago. We haven't had much follow-up since then, but we've been in joint meetings, and I think things are looking better.
Thank you.
I'd like to add to that, too. I don't think that, we're looking at the film and animation, but we're actually really looking at the animation. We have to get the animation program better established here on this campus, games and animation, gaming and animation. And because they do have a film program there, they do not have an animation program. And that may even be something that their students would like to come over and take.
But that is a program that would be on this campus.
Yeah.
Remember, not all our higher education partner programs will be at this building. Many of them will be on this campus.
We need the technology that's here.
Okay. Thank you.
Linda?
So all these art programs that we're collaborating with IAIA are not offered at the design and art?
These have been established for a while. I mean, I don't, I haven't worked with IAIA on bringing anything, but these were already existing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of them are taught over there at IAIA. So we have one class that's taught, a creative writing class that they offer here on our campus. And we're meeting about the schedule tomorrow. I think they're going to have one creative writing class there.
So all students go over to IAIA. Okay.
Because same thing with the labs and all of that they need.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Janet, you're going to do a thing on the ribbon cutting? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members of the board, we have a preliminary plan for our grand opening on January 14th. The invitation is, or the save the date, first invitation is going out on Thursday of this week to a audience that you can see on my report is very, very broad. And if you have any other suggestions for audiences that we've missed, please do get them to me. We have our event goals, a good, robust planning committee. I invite you to attend our meetings. The next one is tomorrow at 11 a.m. And we have some highlights of the program that I think is going to make it very, very fun and festive and auspicious for everyone. I won't go through point by point, but I invite any questions and comments and ideas. at this stage as we move forward.
So mark your dates, your calendar.
Mark your dates.
Mark your calendars.
We have a pretty robust advertising plan too, with a 4-page insert in the New Mexican and other print ads to give it some visibility, and of course, using our other marketing channels as well to really pump this up and invite the whole community to come. It should be an all-afternoon affair, starting at 1 and continuing for the rest of the day with tours, special presentations. The partners are going to be having some demonstrations and presentations in the various rooms. We'll have some entertainment. And so I think it'll probably be a ribbon cutting, but more kind of into an open house for the rest of the day. And of course, we'll have tours leading up to it, so, which we continue to do.
Wait, Linda?
I don't see the foundation on this list.
As an audience,
As, yeah,
they're our partner, so,
Okay, so-
you know, we're not really marketing to them, but
they'll be invited,
they are working with us, actually.
our foundation.
Yeah. Deborah's on the committee, and
Okay.
Martha?
How about inviting the local foundations? Lannel, McCune, Santa Fe,
Ross.
New Mexico.
I think that's great. We do need to do that. Lannel, of course, will be there.
Now, the Lionel Foundation is different than
Yeah.
Lionel.
Lands, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Another question. So the proclamations, we're looking for a mayoral proclamation,
A
county
gubernatorial.
commission, county commission, governor. Sorry. Whoever we can get a proclamation from.
Those are the 3 entities I know of that we can request from. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. As this building, as you know, I don't have to tell you, is going to really impact the community in a positive way. We want all of the entities to get behind it and be present at the event, be recognized.
I see Santa Fe Public School personnel. I assume that includes their board.
Yes.
And, you know, this was really the vision of Dr. Sheila Ortego, and are we going to do something special to recognize her contribution to this happening?
And I have sent her an email along with Tina Ledutsky-Taylor to mark that date on their calendar already. We've talked about a special recognition for her. I don't know if
Mr. Chair.
Kathy?
Just quickly, I want to say thank you to Janet and her staff for pulling together a group and starting to work on this. It will be a great event for all of us, and thank you for putting together a plan for sharing it with the community.
you're absolutely welcome. I think this is going to be one of those it's not just a ribbon cutting. We've done some groundbreakings, we've done some ribbon cuttings, but this one is truly a grand opening.
Yeah,
That's what we'd like to see.
absolutely.
Hope the weather agrees.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
well, we can be inside, that's the best
Yeah,
part.
okay.
Mr. Chair, just want to remind everybody too that the local Small Business Development Center will be based there. So we will have an anchor tenant, which will be more conveniently located. So they'll be using a group of offices on the first floor, and they have the first rights to one of the classrooms by their offices for their trainings. But when they're not using it, we'll schedule other classes in there, especially in the evenings. So we do have kind of an anchor tenant because they will be paying rent.
Pablo?
I think Janet ought to be thanked again for inviting the partners to the meetings, to the organizational meetings, because they've been very much part of this organizational, and they've had some very good input, and we're trying to draw from them as well, their constituency from their various universities.
Yeah. Member Cedillo, you're very right, and For instance, the Small Business Development Center will be sending out the save the date to all of their lists. All of our partners will be sending out the save the date to their networks. That's why I really believe that we will have a capacity crowd on the 14th, even though the weather might be a challenge. I'm sure that day it'll be sunny and in the 40s.
Absolutely.
Will there be another update, before the thing, like on the 15th or whatever, December 15th or?
That's your next meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, December,
Be happy to
yeah.
give you any updates at that time.
And Mr. Chair, what we may want to do, if we don't need to have a full higher learning center meeting, we can still do the update during the regular.
Yeah, just during the regular, yeah, that'll be good. Just to, because it's leading up to that, and leading up to it, and just, I think you're right. It is, it's a grand thing because it's really moving the part of the soul of the college closer into town and closer to a lot of things that are going on, and I think that's a great thing. It's good. I mean, there's activity happening out here, but, things in there are going to be rocking. They are. They're going to be rocking.
The visibility of SFCC
Totally,
and
man.
all of those partners in that neck of the woods
I
is
agree.
quite an opportunity.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Good. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's all we have. We're gonna adjourn, and are we going to take a 5-minute break and then come back, or you wanna,
Do we need a break? Quick break? No?
we need a break?
Okay, I guess not.
You wanna just transition into the
Yeah.
next meeting?
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?